She was young. She was quiet. She smiled in photos. And she chose to love the most hated man in history. This is not a story about politics. This is not a story about war. This is a human story. A story about love, silence, and a choice that changed nothing, but destroyed everything. Eva Braun was not a leader. She was not powerful. She did not speak to crowds. Most people in Germany did not even know her name while she was alive. And yet, she lived very close to one of the most powerful and dangerous men in history. She lived in his shadow, and she stayed there until the very end. Eva Braun was born in 1912 in Munich, Germany. She grew up in a normal family. Her father was a teacher. Her life was simple. She liked clothes. She liked movies. She liked dancing. She was young. She wanted attention. She wanted love. She wanted a future. Like many young women at that time, she dreamed of a better life. In 1929, when Eva was only 17 years old, she met Adolf Hitler. He was much older than her. He was already famous. People listened to him. People followed him. When Eva met him, she did not meet a monster. She met a confident man, a man with power, a man who made her feel special. Hitler liked that Eva was quiet. He liked that she did not ask questions. He liked that she did not challenge him. He liked control, and Eva gave him that control without a fight. Slowly, very slowly, she became part of his private life, but never part of his public life.
This is important. Eva Braun was hidden. She was not allowed to appear with him in public. She was not allowed to speak. She was not allowed to exist as his partner in the real world. She waited. She waited in rooms. She waited in houses. She waited in silence, sometimes for weeks, sometimes for months. She wrote letters. She took photos. She smiled in home videos. But behind the smile, there was loneliness. Hitler once said that Germany was his bride, and Eva understood her place. Second, always second. Many people ask a simple question: why did she stay? Why did she not leave? But the answer is not simple. When someone is young, insecure, and emotionally dependent, love can feel stronger than truth. Power can feel like protection, and silence can feel like loyalty. Eva Braun tried to leave twice. She attempted suicide, not because she wanted to die, but because she wanted to be seen. She wanted attention. She wanted him to choose her, and each time he pulled her back, not with love, but with presence, with small moments, with hope. From that moment on, her life had one center: him. No career, no public voice, no real freedom, just waiting, just believing, just staying. And this is where the real story begins, because loving a powerful man is not the same as loving a good man. And in the next part, we will see what it really meant to live close to absolute power, and why some people choose the shadow instead of the light.
Eva Braun did not live a normal life. From the outside, everything looked comfortable. Big houses, mountains, beautiful views, nice clothes, good food. But comfort is not the same as happiness, and safety is not the same as freedom. Most of Eva's life was spent waiting, waiting for a phone call, waiting for a visit, waiting for permission. Hitler controlled time itself. When he wanted to see her, she was welcome. When he did not, she disappeared. Days passed, weeks passed, sometimes months passed, and Eva stayed silent. She was not allowed to talk about politics. She was not allowed to ask questions. She was not allowed to have opinions. Her job was simple: be pleasant, be quiet, be available. Smile when he was there, and vanish when he was not. Hitler wanted to look like a man without a private life, a man married to the nation, a man who belonged to everyone. Eva understood this rule very clearly. She accepted being hidden. She accepted being invisible, because being invisible was better than being alone. At the Berghof, his mountain home, Eva spent her days reading magazines, taking photographs, exercising, and watching movies. She loved Hollywood films. She loved romantic stories, stories where love wins, stories where the man chooses the woman in the end. These stories helped her survive her reality. But reality was cold. When important guests arrived, Eva was sent away. When powerful men talked about war, she stayed in another room. She heard laughter through walls. She heard voices, but she was not part of the world that mattered.
This kind of life slowly changes a person. When you wait long enough, you stop asking. When you stay silent long enough, silence feels normal. When you live in someone's shadow, light becomes dangerous. Eva's identity slowly disappeared. She was no longer Eva the young woman. She became Eva the companion, Eva the secret, Eva the one who waits. Her value came from one place only, from his attention. This is how emotional dependence works. It does not start as a prison. It starts as hope, as closeness, as love. But over time, your world becomes smaller, and leaving feels more painful than staying. Eva knew he was cruel. She knew people suffered. She knew the world was burning. But knowledge does not always create action. Sometimes it creates denial, and denial feels safer than truth. She chose not to see everything. She chose not to ask, because asking questions would mean facing reality, and reality would destroy the story she needed to survive. By this point, Eva Braun was not living her own life anymore. She was living around someone else's life, breathing when he was near, freezing when he was gone, and still she stayed. Because when love becomes identity, leaving feels like death. And in the next part, we will face the hardest question of all. Why did Eva Braun choose love over morality and illusion over truth?
Many people ask one simple question: why did Eva Braun stay? The answer is not love alone. It is fear, habit, and identity. Eva did not stay because she was blind. She stayed because leaving would mean losing everything she believed about herself. For years, her life had one center, one meaning, one direction: him. When a person builds their whole identity around one human being, walking away feels impossible. She waited so long that waiting became normal. She accepted silence so deeply that silence felt safe. Over time, pain became familiar, and familiar pain feels easier than unknown freedom. There was also hope. Hope that one day he would choose her. Hope that things would change. Hope is powerful. It can keep a person in the wrong place for a very long time. Eva Braun believed that her loyalty mattered, that staying made her special, that love meant endurance. But endurance without dignity slowly destroys the self. She did not see herself as part of history.
She saw herself as part of a relationship. And when love becomes your only truth, morality becomes quiet. Eva Braun stayed because leaving would mean facing reality, and reality was too heavy, too late, too painful. And now there was only one path left, the final one.
In April 1945, the world was collapsing. Berlin was surrounded, bombs were falling, the war was lost. Deep underground, in a concrete bunker, Adolf Hitler was hiding from the end he had created. And Eva Braun finally arrived. For years, she had lived in the shadow. Now she chose to enter the darkness with him. No one forced her. She was safe outside. She could have stayed away, but she came by choice. This was her final decision. Inside the bunker, everything was quiet and tense. The walls were thick. The air was heavy. There was no future, only waiting for the end. Eva knew exactly what was happening. She knew Germany would fall. She knew he would not escape. And still, she stayed. On April 29, 1945, something strange happened. After years of secrecy, after years of denial, Hitler married Eva Braun, not in public, not with celebration, but underground, in silence, with death already knocking. Eva Braun became Eva Hitler for less than 40 hours.
This moment is important because it shows the power of illusion. Marriage did not change her life. It did not give her freedom. It did not give her a future, but it gave meaning to her suffering. In her mind, all the waiting now had a reason. The next day, April 30, they ended their lives together. He used a gun, she used poison. They died side by side, not as leaders, not as symbols, but as two broken people at the end of a long illusion. Eva Braun was 23 when she met him. She was 33 when she died. 10 years of waiting, 10 years of silence, 10 years of living in someone else's shadow. Some people call her loyal, some call her naive, some call her guilty. But one thing is clear, she chose the end instead of freedom. She chose meaning instead of life. And this is the final lesson of her story. When a person ties their entire identity to one human being, even the end can feel safer than beginning again. In the final part, we will step back and look at this story from above, not to judge, but to understand and to learn.
This story is not here to shock you. It is here to teach you. Because Eva Braun is not only a historical figure, she is an example of something very human. The first lesson is simple. Love without freedom is not love. When one person controls time, space, and truth, the other slowly disappears. Love should make you more yourself, not less. The second lesson is about identity. Eva Braun did not lose her life in one moment. She lost it slowly, day by day. When your whole identity is built around one person, leaving feels like dying. This is why strong people build a strong self first. The third lesson is about silence. Silence can feel safe. Silence can feel loyal. But silence can also protect lies. When you stop asking questions, reality does not disappear, it only waits. The fourth lesson is about choice. Eva Braun was not trapped by walls, she was trapped by belief, And beliefs are powerful. They can keep us in the wrong place for years. And finally, this story teaches us something important for learning English and for life. You must be active. You must speak. You must question. Growth only happens when you step into the light, not when you hide in the shadow. History is not only about leaders and wars. It is about ordinary people and the choices they make. Small choices, silent choices, but choices that shape a whole life. Thank you for learning English through this story. Listen again, notice the words, feel the rhythm, and remember this: your voice matters. Your life matters. Do not give it away to silence.
Thanks! Please subscribe and like. Spin a new yarn with us every week. See you there!